大家好，我是 Oliver Branch Allen. So you may have had an older relative or family member that actually had Alzheimer's disease. It's a terrible disease where it actually affects not only the victim, but all the loved ones that are close to them because it robs them of your cherished memories together. But what if there's something you can do to help prevent getting it? And that's something that's not really hard to do, and I've mentioned it already many times before in my earlier videos. Isn't that worth trying out? Studies have shown that Alzheimer's disease is caused by a buildup of two substances called amyloid beta plaque, as well as tau protein. And that plaque buildup causes inflammation in the brain, and the neurons do not function as well because of it. Studies have actually shown that intermittent fasting can help reduce the risk of getting Alzheimer's disease because it can lower the inflammation in the brain by lowering the amyloid beta plaque as well as the tau protein. Now, you may be wondering, how does intermittent fasting actually lower the risk of Alzheimer's disease? It does this through 4 mechanisms. The first one is that it helps lower oxidative stress. As I mentioned, intermittent fasting does lower inflammation. Number 2, it lowers DNA damage. And so, as mentioned again, fasting does help to let you live a little longer, and that's where the DNA damage control has its benefits. Number 3 is that it helps regulate neurotransmitters like dopamine, which I mentioned in an earlier video, as well as serotonin, as well as noradrenaline, which is adrenaline in the brain. And the last one is also how it manages glucose metabolism. And this I've spoken in a lot of videos about how managing sugar levels is important for keeping your vasculature, the blood vessels in your brain, healthy so that it can help improve blood flow to the neurons. There were 3 main protocols for intermittent fasting used in the studies, and that is the 16-8, meaning you're eating for only an 8-hour window, and then you're fasting for 16 hours every day. The second type is the 24-hour fast once a week. So within 1 week, just pick one day where you're fasting for 24 hours. The third type is the 5-2. So again, 1 whole week, you have to choose 2 days where you're only eating 500 calories per day. The other 5 days, you can eat as per normal. Final note is that with all these intermittent fasting, it only makes sense if when you're eating normally, you're not binging on junk food and fast food. You should eat fairly healthy still, normal healthy. I've talked about the benefits of intermittent fasting in many of my earlier videos, such as it helps in your longevity, helps reduce fatty liver, and it also helps with blood sugar levels regulation. So if you want to learn more about them, please go back and review those videos. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a research scientist. I'm merely sharing the published data that has been provided. And so I do want you to seek a medical professional if you do decide to change any of your dietary habits. Having said that, the news and the science on Alzheimer's disease is an everly increasing body of knowledge. So it's really great that we now have some tools that can help us fight the odds against this terrible disease. That's it for today. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you next time.